Yo, dig this. It's your boy, Coach Mike D. And I wanted to take a moment and talk about mindset. When I think about all that I do when it comes to my podcast and executive coaching and speaking and books, etc., though everything may have a different title, though contextually things may, speak to a particular audience, everything really comes back to mindset. Everything comes back to mindset. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? Mindset. When you think about your actions, a lot of people want to know tactically how to do certain things, how to accomplish various tasks. And the reality is, the accomplishment of various tasks and the direction or the instruction on, completing various things or accomplishing various things in life really comes back to your mindset. Because with the right mindset, the actions that you take are a simple byproduct. If you believe it's possible, it's possible. If you believe it's not possible, it's not possible. If you have the courage and the confidence to step into that thing, you've got a fighting chance. If you don't, it ain't going to happen. But all of that is rooted in your mindset. That's the thing that I really want us to think about today. You must become the quarterback of your own mindset. The quarterback tends to lead the offense using a football analogy. But the thing is, a lot of people pawn their mindset off to other entities, to other people. They're looking for someone to make decisions for them. They're looking for someone to give them the confidence. They're looking for someone to motivate them so that they can get the energy up to do what they need to do. They look for some substance, some pill, right? It's interesting. We call alcohol liquid courage, right? People look to alcohol to loosen them up so that they can have the courage to say the thing that needs to be said. A lot of times we pawn our freedom, we pawn our success, we pawn our livelihood off to others, to leaders, to presidents, to organizations, to systems. We pawn everything off and we allow those entities or those people to then control our mindset. But the reality is, we must become the quarterback of our own mindset. And I'm going to do more videos as we move forward on some of the influences that come into play, which cause your mindset to be what it is, right? Because a lot of times we say mindset, but we don't take it up the chain or we don't go back a little bit and think about what are the influences that come into play that cause us to have the mindset that we have. And a few of those components for me are your beliefs. Your beliefs really influence your mindset. Your experiences, right? The things that you've done, the things that you've accomplished, your failures, places you've gone, your travels, all of those things fall under the umbrella of your experiences. Your education, right? Those are experiences. The things that the things that you've learned, the skills that you've acquired, those are all experiences. Beliefs, experiences. Another thing, relationships. Your relationships influence your mindset. There's a popular quote. I don't know the author. I believe it's Jim Rohn, but it might be someone else. But it says you're the average of the five people you spend the most time with. Your relationships matter. I'm a person of faith, so obviously your decision on your faith to me is number one. But the next most important decision you make in life is typically, who are you going to marry? Who are you going to build a life with? Who are you going to have children with, right? Your relationships, romantic relationships, your friend group relationships, right? The neighborhoods, the organizations you align and affiliate with all influence your mindset. Another one, and I have two more points here. Another one are the stories or the narratives that you tell yourself. See, what's interesting, context, right? A lot of people tell themselves just interesting stories. And they continue to tell themselves these stories over and over, and that influences their mindset. What stories are you telling yourselves? What stories are you allowing to ruminate, to go back and forth in your mind? How are you looking at something and then going down the rabbit hole of that and then telling yourself a story about it, right? That influences your mindset. And then lastly, one of the things that really influences your mindset is how you view yourself. If you look in the mirror and you do not believe that you're worthy of being in a particular setting, then guess what? That's how you're going to operate, as if you're not worthy. But if you look in the mirror and you know that you're worthy of being here, you know that you're capable of doing what it is you're called to do, then you approach it differently, and that influences your mindset, right? How you view yourself is really not how others view you, it's how you view yourself. Because how you view yourself gets reflected to others. And then they can, in essence, see how you view yourself, because how you carry yourself will be reflected based off of how you view yourself. And that's what others can see. And everyone is formulating an opinion about you. That really doesn't matter. The key is, how do you view yourself? So, the five components that influence your mindset: your beliefs, your experiences, your relationships, the narratives or stories you tell yourself, and lastly, how you view yourself. And I'm going to do more and more content around mindset and how you can become the quarterback of your own mindset, because at the end of the day, your mind is a terrible thing to waste. You know, back in the day, I think it was the UNCF, the campaign back in the day used to have "the mind is a terrible thing to waste." And that is so true. Our mindset is a terrible thing to waste as well. Our mindset is a terrible thing to pawn off to someone else. So, yeah, just look for more and more content from your boy, Coach Mike D. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave some comments, subscribe to my podcast, Impact and Fulfillment with Coach Mike D. Anywhere you get podcasts, follow me on Instagram at Coach Mike D. And I'm definitely looking forward to engaging more with you all with regard to mindset, because it's extremely important. Your actions are a byproduct of your mindset. When you control a man's thinking, you don't have to worry about his actions. That's Carter G. Woodson from The Miseducation of the Negro. He was really on to some wisdom. Your mindset matters. Y'all be blessed, well, and wise, and I will holla at you. Peace.